I was a kid when I started 70s Show, and everybody was much older. Like, Ashton did my chemistry homework for me.
We've only been married 3 years, so I still very much like him.
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us, and they asked us to write character letters.
Mila Kunis is taking Ashton Kutcher to the Supreme Court after a shocking twist that no one saw coming. Reports suggest his recent choices and connections could unravel the perfect image he's built for years. How did the man who seemed like Hollywood's golden boy end up tangled in something so serious? Let us uncover the truth behind this legal showdown that will end the long marriage between these two Hollywood stars. Hollywood's perfect image begins to crack. What's raising eyebrows even more is the timing. Diddy, who's been slapped with serious charges ranging from racketeering to trafficking, has somehow found his name tied to Kutcher's in ways no one expected. These two aren't just casual acquaintances either. Kutcher's appearances at Diddy's infamous white parties and their history of public admiration for each other hint at a deeper relationship. It's not just about celebrity parties and mutual shout-outs, it's about the lingering question of how much he knew about Diddy's alleged activities. Could Ashton have been complicit or at least aware? Mila's sudden silence and the rumors of her moving out make it seem like she knows something that we don't. Before we delve into this, it's clear that Ashton and Diddy's ties run deeper than anyone could have guessed, and what comes next might be the most shocking revelation yet. Let's not forget Kutcher's own recent controversies. Last year, his and Mila's support for their former That 70s Show co-star Danny Masterson, who was convicted on serious charges, didn't sit well with many people. They wrote letters to the court advocating for Masterson's character, which was widely seen as tone-deaf and dismissive of the victims. Mila and Kutcher's polished public image started to crack after that. Christina Ricci's cryptic but cutting social media posts only added fuel to the fire, implying that awesome guys can hide disturbing truths. Kutcher's past actions and connections, whether in Hollywood, tech, or now with Diddy, seem to be coming back to haunt him in unexpected ways. But here's where things get even murkier. His advocacy for trafficking victims through his organization, Thorn, now feels unsettlingly ironic given the allegations swirling around Diddy. How does someone actively fighting exploitation manage to rub shoulders with someone accused of such heinous crimes? It's a contradiction that's hard to ignore. While no direct accusations have been made against Kutcher, the optics alone are enough to make anyone suspicious. Mila's apparent decision to step away from him could be a sign that she's done turning a blind eye, or maybe she's protecting herself from the fallout of something bigger. Could she be holding on to information that might blow this whole thing wide open? Then there's the FBI's involvement. The fact that federal investigators are digging into Diddy's activities and potentially widening their net should make everyone pause. Kutcher's name being floated in connection with this case might just be the tip of the iceberg. Let's be real, Hollywood's glossy facade often hides the ugliest truths, and Kutcher's squeaky clean image is looking more and more like a well-crafted illusion. Is he really the golden boy everyone thought he was? Or has he been hiding in plain sight all along? Mila's silence speaks volumes. Publicly, she's always stood by Kutcher, but her recent actions, like reportedly moving out and staying mum about these controversies, suggest a shift. If even Mila, who knows Kutcher better than anyone, is stepping back, what does that say about his role in all this? And what's her next move? It's almost as if she's bracing for a storm, one that could reveal more than just Kutcher's ties to Diddy. Is Mila the key to unlocking a scandal that's much bigger than anyone realizes? For years, Kutcher's been celebrated as a forward-thinking entrepreneur, a doting husband, and a philanthropist. But when you pull back the curtain, there's an unsettling web of connections that don't add up. The overlap between Kutcher's social circle and some of Hollywood's darkest scandals is too significant to ignore. The way things are unraveling, it's hard not to question if his entire public persona was a carefully constructed mask. As the pressure grows, Ashton and Mila's perfect image begins to break, opening the door to claims that could change how we see them. The letters that sparked outrage. When Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis stepped up to write character letters for their longtime friend Danny Masterson, the reaction was swift and brutal. The couple, who had known Masterson for 25 years, described him as a positive influence, steering them away from bad choices and substances. Ashton called him a role model, while Mila referred to him as an older brother figure. On paper, their words seemed heartfelt, but the backlash they faced told a different story. Critics didn't hold back. Social media lit up with accusations, claiming the letters weren't just supportive, but were intended to cast doubt on the victim's credibility. Adding fuel to the fire, some pointed out the irony of Ashton, a co-founder of a child exploitation charity, defending someone convicted of serious crimes. Fans questioned how someone who publicly advocates for victims could privately support someone accused of harming others. The disconnect was glaring, and the internet wasn't letting it slide. The couple's apology video didn't help their case. Released on a lazy Saturday afternoon, their joint statement was meant to address the storm brewing around them. They explained that they wrote the letters at the request of Masterson's family, aiming to show the judge the side of him they had known. According to Ashton and Mila, the letters weren't meant to discredit victims or minimize their experiences. But the damage was already done. Critics labeled their apology as insincere, accusing them of being more upset about public backlash than about the implications of their actions. Adding another layer to the controversy, journalist Yashar Ali and others highlighted the language in their letters. They noted the apparent use of phrases tied to Scientology, raising eyebrows about the real intent behind their words. The public was quick to connect the dots, suggesting that the letters were more calculated than the couple let on. Were they truly just helping a friend, or was there something more behind their words? The debate raged on, with many questioning if their relationship with Masterson had clouded their judgment. Ashton's past actions didn't escape scrutiny either. Chrissy Bixler, one of Masterson's accusers and a former girlfriend, took to social media to call him out directly. Her post hinted at dark things and referenced a chilling phone call from 2001, tying Ashton to an event that shook Hollywood. She claimed to know details that could end him, suggesting that Ashton's clean-cut image might not be as spotless as it seemed. These allegations only added to the growing tension, painting a picture of a man whose public persona might hide a more complicated reality. Mila wasn't spared either. Old clips resurfaced, showing interactions between her, Ashton, and Masterson that felt deeply uncomfortable in today's context. From awkward interviews to moments on set, the footage cast a shadow over their past behavior. Fans and critics alike dissected every frame, searching for clues that might explain their unwavering support for Masterson. The silence from Mila in the weeks following the backlash only fueled speculation. Was she distancing herself from Ashton, or was something more significant happening behind the scenes? Rumors of a split between Ashton and Mila began circulating, with whispers that Mila might be cooperating with authorities. Some speculated that she had insider knowledge, potentially tying Ashton to other controversies. If true, this could spell disaster for Ashton, whose reputation was already hanging by a thread. The possibility of legal jeopardy loomed large, and fans couldn't help but wonder what would come next. Ashton's work with his charity Thorn also came under fire. While his efforts to combat child exploitation were widely praised, many found it hard to reconcile his advocacy with his support for Masterson. Critics questioned whether his involvement with Thorn was genuine or just a smokescreen to distract from less savory aspects of his life. The backlash was relentless, with fans demanding accountability and transparency. This isn't the first time Hollywood has been rocked by scandal, but the layers of this controversy have captivated the public. From character letters to resurfaced footage, every new revelation adds fuel to the fire. Ashton and Mila's decision to stand by Masterson has left many questioning their values and priorities. Are they simply misguided friends, or is there more to their story than meets the eye? Diddy's troubles are getting worse, but his fear and silence might show us something bigger about power and control. The charges that brought Diddy down. Diddy's name has been dominating the headlines, and not for anything good. Arrested, locked up, and now making waves by refusing to eat, rumors are swirling about why. The word is he's afraid someone might poison his food. Is this paranoia, or does he have a real reason to be on edge? Some people are quick to dismiss this as overthinking, but there's a deeper story here. Reports suggest Diddy fears he could be Epsteined, a term that's now shorthand for being silenced permanently and suspiciously. His paranoia, insiders claim, is fueled by the fact that his testimony could expose dirt on some of the most powerful people in the entertainment industry. Former inmate Larry Levine didn't help by stirring the pot, suggesting Diddy's refusal to eat might stem from fear of being poisoned. If what Levine hints at is true, this could mean Diddy has information that could shake the very foundations of fame, money, and influence. Let's be honest, the timing of all this is suspicious. Diddy's testimony is supposed to happen soon, and the buzz is that it could reveal industry things that no one wants aired out. Fans are worried for his safety, and they have good reason. High-profile figures with key information have met untimely deaths before, and Diddy's situation is eerily similar. Add to that the fact that his bail, a staggering $50 million, was denied. He even offered up his Miami mansions, his passport, and the passports of his kids, but the judge shut it all down. What does that tell you about how serious this case is? Think about this. The average bail for a big crime in California hovers around $2 million. For that, you'd only need to post 10% up front. But Diddy went above and beyond, throwing out $18 million worth of real estate and still got a firm no. It's clear the court is not playing games. Diddy's wealth and fame might have kept him untouchable for years, but it looks like those days are over. But what landed Diddy in this mess in the first place? According to the charges, his alleged crimes stretch back to 2008, painting a picture of a man who didn't act alone. This wasn't just about throwing lavish parties. Prosecutors say he ran a criminal enterprise involving forced labor, trafficking, bribery, and even obstruction of justice. Disturbing details allege women and men were coerced into unspeakable acts, often under threats and manipulation. Victims were reportedly flown in, held against their will, and subjected to unimaginable exploitation. When investigators searched properties linked to Diddy, they uncovered stacks of evidence. Over 1,000 bottles of lubricants and baby oil, tools allegedly used in these horrifying acts. If that wasn't enough, more allegations are coming to light. Claims from years ago, including those from figures like Cassian and Jaguar Wright, are resurfacing. Their stories paint a chilling picture of an industry where power shields people from consequences. Until it doesn't. Comedian Cat Williams even predicted that 2024 would be the year of truth-telling, calling out Diddy as someone whose time was coming. And here we are. Let's not forget the bizarre lengths Diddy went to for bail. $50 million is an eye-watering sum, and yet it wasn't enough to buy his way out. The judge's refusal sends a clear message. This isn't just another celebrity scandal. The allegations are serious and the evidence keeps piling up. With charges this heavy, the potential consequences are life-changing. Not just for Diddy, but for the many lives he's reportedly impacted. This whole situation feels like a reckoning. For years, Diddy appeared untouchable, a mogul with influence far beyond music. But the cracks are showing and his empire is under scrutiny. The victims, who've allegedly endured years of suffering, might finally see justice. And as more details come to light, the question looms: how deep does this go? One thing is clear: the fallout from this case will leave a lasting impact, not just on Diddy, but on everyone connected to his alleged actions. Mila's story shows her strength and drive, but even the brightest starts can lead to surprising and difficult changes. From Ukraine to Hollywood fame, Mila Kunis, who everyone now knows as Mila Kunis, didn't exactly have a smooth start in life. Born on August 14, 1983, in Chernivtsi, Ukraine, back when it was still part of the Soviet Union, Mila's early days weren't all sunshine and roses. Her family was Jewish, and growing up in that environment came with its own set of challenges. Her mom, Elvira, juggled being a physics teacher and running a pharmacy, while her dad, Mark, went from being a mechanical engineer to driving a cab just to make ends meet. Oh, and let's not forget her older brother, Michael, because every story needs a sibling, right? Fast forward to 1991, Mila was 7 and her family packed up their lives and moved to the United States. Why? They were chasing that American dream. Better opportunities, a brighter future, the whole package. But let's be real, moving across the globe with just $250 in your pocket isn't exactly a cushy start. They landed in Los Angeles and she didn't even speak a word of English. Imagine being a kid in a brand new place and not understanding anything. She's described it as feeling blind and deaf. And honestly, who could blame her? It was culture shock, plain and simple. To help her settle in, her parents did what most parents would. They tried to find ways to make her feel included. They signed her up for acting classes at the Beverly Hills studios when she was 9. Now here's where things get interesting. Her talent wasn't just noticed, it practically slapped people in the face. At her very first audition, she snagged a role in a Barbie commercial. Talk about beginner's luck, or maybe just raw talent. From there, the doors to Hollywood cracked open a little wider. Her early gigs were a mix of blink and you'll miss it appearances. She popped up on shows like Days of Our Lives and Baywatch. Yeah, those were her humble beginnings, running around on beaches and making small cameos. She even had tiny roles in movies like Santa with Muscles. Yes, that's a real title, and Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. These weren't blockbuster hits, but they gave her something invaluable: experience and confidence. Then came the big one. At just 14, she went for the role of Jackie Burkhart on That 70s Show. Now, the catch was the producers wanted actors who were at least 18. Clever and determined, she told them she'd be 18 but conveniently left out when. Her performance was so good they couldn't resist. When they found out her actual age, they didn't care. She was Jackie. The show ran for 8 seasons, and she became a household name, even winning 2 Young Star Awards for her work. Around the same time, in 1999, she took on another exciting role to add to her already growing list of accomplishments. She became the voice of Meg Griffin on the animated show Family Guy. Interestingly, she wasn't the original voice for Meg. Lacey Chabert, who originally voiced the character, left the show and she stepped in. Her audition caught the attention of Seth MacFarlane, the show's creator, who loved how she brought a fresh and relatable energy to Meg. Her natural delivery and humor turned Meg into a standout character, proving her versatility as an actress. While her acting career was thriving, her life wasn't without its challenges. Balancing her education and a busy schedule on set was far from easy. She attended Bancroft Middle School and later moved on to Fairfax High School, where she graduated in 2001. To keep up with her studies, she often relied on on-set tutors who helped her manage her workload between filming scenes. After high school, she even tried college for a brief time, enrolling at both UCLA and Loyola Marymount University. However, juggling academics and a growing Hollywood career proved too much, and she eventually left college to focus entirely on acting. Hollywood had opened its doors wide, and she was ready to step through. Her early years were marked by bold moves and unwavering determination. Her family moved from Ukraine to the United States when she was just 7 years old, and she had to learn a completely new language and adapt to an unfamiliar culture. These challenges only seemed to fuel her drive to succeed. She started acting at a young age, auditioning tirelessly, and learning the ropes of the industry. But it wasn't just raw talent that got her where she is today. It was her resilience, her willingness to work hard, and perhaps a bit of luck along the way. Her story is a powerful example of how grit and ambition can help you achieve your dreams. Every step of her life seems to have been about pushing boundaries. Moving to a new country as a child, mastering English, and diving into acting with little more than courage and determination are just a few examples. Her ability to adapt and thrive, whether as a child learning to fit into a new culture or as an actress taking on challenging roles, set her apart. Even in her early acting days, when she faced rejection and uncertainty, she kept pushing forward. It was clear she wasn't just chasing fame, she was carving out a career with purpose and passion. Is Ashton Kutcher's downfall tied to personal mistakes, or is there a bigger scandal Hollywood doesn't want us to know about? Could Mila Kunis' legal move reveal something that changes everything we thought we knew? Tell us your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.